We had learnt about foul smell in the previous lecture. Now we are going to learn about the next paragraph of Clayden book. Okay. So nasty smells. We had learnt about nasty smells in the previous lecture. So nasty smells sometimes can be irritating, but they have their uses. Okay. Nasty smells can sometimes be irritating, but they have their own uses. Okay. The natural gas piped into homes contains small amounts of. Now, what is natural gas? Natural gas is methane. Natural gas means methane. Okay. And the formula of methane is CH4. Formula of methane is CH4, and it is called as natural gas, and it is used to cook food. It is used to cook food. Okay. So it is piped into homes. It is piped into homes. It contains small amounts of deliberately added sulfur compounds such as tertiary butyl thiol, CH3 thrice CSH. Now, what is tertiary butyl thiol? Let me tell you. This is the structure of tertiary butyl thiol. This is the structure of tertiary butyl thiol, and it is deliberately added to make the natural gas smell like gas. Now, why is this compound tertiary butyl thiol? Why is this compound added to natural gas? The thing is that sometimes the natural gas can leak. Sometimes the natural gas can leak. And when it leaks, when the natural gas leaks, it is odorless. Okay, it is odorless. So as CH4 is odorless, as CH4, that is methane, that is natural gas, it is odorless. As it is odorless, so we cannot detect the leak. We cannot detect the leak of the gas. Okay, and if we are not able to detect the leak of the gas, if we are not able to detect the leak of the gas, it can cause accidents. As we are not able to judge the leak of the gas, it can cause accidents like explosion. Okay, like explosion. So such accidents can happen. So in order to avoid such accidents, and to make the leak detectable, okay, to make the leak make the leak make the leak of the gas make the leak of the natural gas detectable. Okay, to make the leak of the natural gas detectable, in order to do that, this compound is added. This particular compound is added to make the leak of the natural gas detectable and to avoid accidents. This particular compound is added to the natural gas. Okay, and this compound's name is tertiary butyl thiol. It is deliberately added to the natural gas to smell it like gas. Okay, so that to it is deliberately added to natural gas so that the natural gas smells like gas. This is tertiary butyl thiol. This is the use of tertiary butyl thiol. Okay, so it contains natural gas which is piped into our homes. It contains small amounts of deliberately added sulfur compounds such as tertiary butyl thiol. This is one of the use of nasty smells. Okay. When we say small, what does it mean by small? Small amount means that we mean very small. Okay. By small, we are meaning that it is very small. We mean to say that the amount of substance added, to the natural gas is very small. Okay. And it is so small that humans can detect one part in 50 billion parts of natural gas. Humans can detect one part in 50 billion parts of the natural gas. So if there are 50 billion molecules of natural gas, one molecule will correspond to tertiary butyl thiol. Okay, so one molecule of tertiary butyl thiol is there per 50 billion molecules of natural gas. Okay, per 50 billion molecules of natural gas, only one molecule of tertiary butyl thiol is present. Okay, only one molecule of tertiary butyl thiol is present per 50 billion molecules of natural gas. This is what is the meaning of small, which means very small, and humans can detect it. Even if it is in such a small amount, human can still detect it. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, what is the meaning of billion? Let me tell you. First of all, have a look at million. 1 million. 1 million means 10 to the power 6. 1 billion. 1 billion means 10 to the power 9. 1 trillion. 1 trillion means 10 to the power 12. This you must remember. In this book, this particular description will come once again. Okay, again and again. This particular description will come again and again. So you must be acquainted with these terms, that 1 million means 10 to the power 6, 1 billion means 10 to the power 9, 1 trillion means 10 to the power 12. Okay, so over here, how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 10. 10 zeros are there. Okay, so it is 5 into 10 to the power 10. Now 10 to the power 9 is 1 billion. 10 to the power 9 is 1 billion, and over here it is 10 to the power 10. So this figure is 50 billion. This figure is 50 billion. Okay, you must be knowing this. Other compounds have delightful odors. Okay, so some compounds have nasty smells and other compounds have delightful odors. Okay, to redeem the honor of sulfur compounds. Now what does it mean? What does it mean by redeeming the honor of sulfur compounds? So author wants to say is, what the author wants to say is that the sulfur compounds smell really bad sometimes. Okay, the sulfur compounds sometimes have nasty smells. Sometimes the sulfur compounds have nasty smells, but it is not a necessary condition that all the sulfur compounds will have nasty foul smell. It is not necessary that all the sulfur compounds will have foul smell. Indeed, some of the sulfur compounds have good smell as well. Some of the sulfur compounds have good smell as well. Okay. To redeem the honor of sulfur compounds, we must cite the truffle. Now, what does it mean by truffle? Truffle is a fungus like this, which looks like this. This is black truffle. Okay, this is black truffle. This particular figure shows black truffle. Okay, and this is a fungus. This is a kind of fungus. This is a kind of fungus. Okay, this is a kind of fungus, and it grows below the soil. Okay, grows below the soil, below soil. Okay, 1 meter below the soil, like that. Okay, 0.5 meter below the soil, 1 meter below the soil, like that. Okay, so we must cite truffle. Now, what is truffle? I have told you it is a kind of fungus, and it can be smelled by the pigs. Okay, which pigs can smell through a meter of soil. Which pigs can smell through a meter of soil. So even if the truffle is there inside the soil, 1 meter below the soil, even if the truffle is 1 meter below the soil, over here, this is suppose soil. Okay, this is suppose your soil. Okay, and the truffle is located 1 meter below the soil. See, still the pigs can smell the truffle. Okay, and they dig the truffle out of the soil. They dig the truffle out of the soil because they can smell it even through a meter of the soil. Okay, and its taste is really good. It is really delicious. Okay, whose taste and smell is so delightful that truffles cost more than their weight in gold. So truffles, this kind of black fungus. Okay, black truffle means this kind of fungus. It is sometimes even more costlier than gold. Okay, sometimes it is even more costlier as compared to gold. Okay, as compared to gold, it is even more costlier sometimes. Not necessarily always, but many times it is costlier than gold. It is such a delicious compound and it has such a nice smell. Okay, so its taste and smell is so delightful that truffles cost more than their weight in gold. Okay. Now, what is the substance responsible for smell of a black truffle? So the substance which is responsible for the smell of a black truffle, okay, the scent of the black truffle. The scent of the black truffle is because of this sulfur compound. Because of this sulfur compound, over here one carbon is there, over here one methyl group is there, over here also one methyl group is there, okay, and here it is sulfur, here it is sulfur. So this is a sulfur compound, and this sulfur compound is responsible. This sulfur compound is responsible for the scent of the black truffle. It is responsible for the scent of the black truffle. Okay. So this is the thing. So not all the sulfur compounds are foul smelling. Not all the sulfur compounds are foul smelling. Many of the sulfur compounds are foul smelling, but sometimes they might also be responsible for good scent. Okay. Sometimes they might also be responsible for good scent. Okay. Now, Damascenones are responsible for the smell of roses. Now, what are Damascenones? What is the structure of Damascenones? The structure of Damascenones is something like this. Okay, the structure of Damascenones is something like this. It is also written over here, Damascenone, the smell of roses. It is a type of ketone. It is a type of ketone because C double bond O group. Okay, C double bond O group is present in this. So it is carbonyl compound and it is specifically ketone. It is specifically ketone. So Damascenone, the smell of roses, this compound is responsible for the smell of roses, and this compound is called as Damascenone. It is a type of ketone, okay, or carbonyl compound. Okay, so what is the difference between aldehyde and ketone? You must be knowing. Then that aldehyde contains one hydrogen atom attached to it. So this is aldehyde, and this is ketone, which has over here also carbon is attached, over here also carbon is attached. So such a compound is called as ketone. Okay. So Damascenone is a type of ketone. So this is a ketone, C double bond O. Over here, carbon is attached. So it is responsible for smell of roses. It is called as Damascenone. Damascenones are responsible for the smell of roses. Okay. Now, what the author further wants to add is that if you smell one drop of Damascenone, if you smell a single drop of Damascenone, you will be disappointed because it will not smell like roses. If you smell only single drop of Damascenone, you will be disappointed because it is not good smelling when in a single drop and concentrated. When it is concentrated, okay, when it is concentrated in the form of a single concentrated drop, so that the smell of that is not good. It's a smell when concentrated in the form of a single drop of concentrated liquid. So when you take single drop of concentrated Damascenone liquid, okay, when you take concentrated single drop of Damascenone liquid, you will be disappointed because it smells rather like turpentine or camphor. Okay, it doesn't smell good. It smells rather like turpentine or camphor. Okay, so turpentine and camphor are also organic compounds. Turpentine and camphor are also organic compounds. So it smells like that. What does it mean by camphor? Camphor is called as kapoor in Hindi. In Hindi, it is called as kapoor. In Hindi, it is called as kapoor. In English, it is called as camphor. Okay. So Damascenones single concentrated drop smells like turpentine or camphor. Okay, it doesn't smell good. But the next morning, you and your clothes you were wearing. But the next morning, if you have a look at your clothes and the this particular Damascenone liquid is attached to your clothes, okay, one day prior to this, the next morning you and your clothes which you were wearing, you will smell powerfully like roses. So upon dilution, it means that upon dilution, Damascenone smells like. So let me write here. Okay, Damascenone. Okay, so when concentrated, they smell like turpentine or camphor. When concentrated, they smell like this. Okay, and when they get diluted, when the Damascenone smell gets diluted, what happens? It smells like roses. When it gets diluted, it feel like the roses smell. Okay, smell of roses. Okay. So the next morning, you and your clothes which you were wearing will smell powerfully like roses if one day before you have worked with Damascenone. If one day before you have worked with Damascenone and you have slept throughout the night without changing the clothes. You have slept throughout the night. You have slept throughout the night without changing the clothes. The next morning, you and your clothes will smell powerfully like roses. So it means that many smells develop on dilution. Okay. So the structures also you can have a look. This is tertiary butyl thiol. This is the scent of this compound is responsible for smell of truffle, and this is responsible for smell of roses. Okay, so this is the thing. And how does a truffle look like? Black truffle looks something like this. It is a kind of fungus. It is found below the ground. It is found below the ground. That is below the soil. Okay, so this was all about today's lecture.